FightGloves.com here with Jessie Vargas. Jessie, we're here at the Danny Garcia versus Brandon Rios press conference. Your thoughts on this fight and how this year is actually starting off so far? We have Errol Spence versus Lamont Peterson coming up. We have Danny Garcia versus Brandon Rios, obviously. Wilder versus Ortiz is rumored to be going on. Same with Joshua and Parker. We also have Victor Ortiz versus Devin Alexander. So we're starting off the year very quickly and fast.
It started a little slow, you know, but we have nothing the first week of January.
True.
Second week, third week until January 27th, I believe.
We have the Linares and Batista doubleheader here.
Oh no, I'm talking about Errol Spence.
Errol Spence, yeah, that's right.
Doesn't he fight January?
Yes.
Yeah,
I believe it's by the 20th though.
All right, the 20th. Yeah. You're correcting me there. January 20th is gonna be a good fight. Errol Spence versus
Lamont Peterson.
Lamont Peterson on Showtime, and I mean that's gonna be a good fight. You can never count out Lamont Peterson. He always comes to fight, so that's gonna be a good fight. I'm gonna definitely be tuning in. It's being held in New York. After that, we have February. We have Showtime with Brandon Rios and Danny Garcia. Another exciting fight. And again, like you said, Luis Ortiz against Wilder. That's gonna be a good one. I know that Wilder has an advantage, but Ortiz has all that Olympic pedigree. We'll find out how that fight goes. Anthony Joshua against Parker. I would have to lean towards Anthony Joshua for that fight. You know, he might just pick up another belt, but you know, we'll find out soon enough.
Now, honestly, as a fighter, you're really good. But honestly, the best thing I think you do, you are great commentating in Spanish. I've heard the specials that you've done so many times on pay-per-view and everything. So let's just break down fights thoroughly as best as we can. Obviously, you stated that Errol Spence versus Lamont Peterson. You see Lamont coming in, and he never gives up. He never fights. But if you were to give the advantage to somebody in that fight, would it be Errol? Would it be Lamont?
Errol Spence because he's younger. He's younger, and he is more versatile. He has a few different styles that he can show up with. Lamont is a tough fighter, take nothing away from him, but he's a brawler. He likes to fight, he likes to come in the pocket, fighting, you know, and that's usually the fighting style that we'll see. But you never know. Maybe he can switch up his style and try to outbox.
So ultimately, you would say that Errol would more than likely come out as the victor during that night.
I'd say he has a bit of an advantage. That's what I'd say. In boxing, you can't count anyone out. I mean, in boxing, anything can happen. Everyone has two hands, two legs, and you know, and one chin. So we'll find out.
The next fight that obviously happens on the PBC side would be on the 17th. Actually, no, the 10th. Mikey Garcia versus Lipinets. Actually, your thoughts on that fight with Mikey Garcia moving up to 140, trying to get a 4th division world title?
I think that not too many people know of Lipinets, but he's a good fighter. I mean, he's gonna come to brawl, he's gonna come to fight, and he's no chump. He's gonna try and defend his title. I think that Mikey might just be on another level, though. You know, he's a very good fighter, and he's at 40. He's gonna come in stronger than he was at 47, and I see him having the advantage.
Why would you say Mikey has the advantage? Obviously, Mikey is probably one of the most technically skilled, well-rounded fighters. He's in the pound-for-pound discussion, obviously, but what about him?
You just explained it right now, man.
I was about to say, what about him has actually led him to go up and move back down? Obviously, he won titles at 126. He's a champion.
His technique and timing. You know, he has very good timing, very good technique, experience, and you know, he's been able to move up and down. I would like to see him fight at 35 one last time, and then after that, just stay at 47.
Because he himself is saying he wants Linares at 35. So do you think that's possible? Because everybody also wants Lomachenko at 35. So
I really don't care for that fight. I guess, yeah, that would make for a good fight too. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that. That would make for a very entertaining fight. I think a lot of people are very entertained by the idea of that fight being made. But we'll see if it actually happens. That's why I'm not really leaning towards that fight, because I don't see how it could be possible. You know, just because different promoters and all that. But it seems that, you know, Golden Boy puts up some of their fighters up, you know, against PBC fighters. So yeah, we'll see if that fight can be made.
Yeah, and it has been known that Golden Boy had offered Linares the fight for Garcia, and there you go.
So that's why that's a fight that I don't.
You would think it would be more possible to be made Linares versus Garcia.
I usually see it as more realistic fights. If they could be made, then I'll, you know, gain interest in it. You know what I mean? And when it comes to Lomachenko, I just don't see that fight happening soon. You know, and that's why I just don't even talk about it. But hey, it would make for a fantastic fight.
Now, obviously, February 17th is a stacked day of boxing. We first start off at Fox. We have Devin Alexander versus Wilder-Ortiz. It's in El Paso, Texas. Your thoughts on that fight? Obviously, both of those guys.
It was just announced, too.
Yeah, it was just announced. And both of those guys are kind of like on the iffy side of their career. You know, Devin coming off a long layoff. Victor coming right now off a long layoff as well. Probably having like a little tuna fight himself. But just your thoughts on that fight.
It's a good fight. Both guys are hungry to come back and to put themselves in the position to fight for a world title. And for that reason, they're hungry. They're hungry and they want to prove themselves once again to show that they're at the top of the level, you know, and it's going to be fireworks for sure. I was excited to see it when I first saw it, you know, being promoted. Yeah, when it was first announced. And it's going to be a good fight. I would definitely. I mean, boxing, as you said, boxing has got a great start this year.
Now that same day again, we have this fight: Danny Garcia versus Brandon Rios. Obviously, I know you've seen Danny Garcia from afar. You had a believable relationship with Brandon Rios, given both of you were top rank at the time and everything. Your thoughts on that fight?
Good fight. It's a great fight. People should definitely tune in. You know, you have a Mexican-American fighter in Brandon Rios and a Puerto Rican-American fighter in Danny Garcia, and they both come to fight. You know, they both come to fight. They both come to give fireworks, and I believe that February 17th is going to be no different. You know, they're going to come and entertain their fans. They both always do. It's a tough fight for both, for sure. You know, I'm closer to Brandon Rios. I'm real cool with him, so I'm cheering him on, and I'm hoping he comes out with a victory. But I know that he has a tough task in front of him against Danny Garcia. But both fighters are in for a tough one, and it's just gonna come down to who has the most heart, who has the most desire to come out victorious.
Now, the old adage in boxing used to be, boxing goes as the heavyweights go. Thankfully, the heavyweight division has had a very big boom. The UK has their champion, which is Anthony Joshua. We in America, we have a heavyweight champion in Deontay Wilder. Deontay Wilder is rumored to be fighting Luis Ortiz on March 3rd.
Which is a great fight, which is a fantastic fight. You know, like I said, they both have very good amateur pedigree. They have a long history in the box. Well, actually, Deontay Wilder has a lot of experience when it comes to the Olympics, amateur bronze medalist.
Yeah, bronze medalist.
And then you have Luis Ortiz, who's a
Cuban,
you know, amateur standout, and a very good talented fighter. We'll find out soon how that fight turns out.
And in that same month, it's also rumored that Anthony Joshua and Joshua Parker are going to fight one another. That's another good fight because obviously what everybody's leaning towards in boxing for the heavyweight division is for Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder to fight one another, hopefully this year, if not early next year.
That means that the fight can happen late this year, you know, as early as late this year. So it's a fight that we all want to see. You know, if they both come out victorious from their fights, I see, you know, Joshua having an advantage against Parker. You know, I see him on a different level. I think that Ortiz is a more difficult fight, and Deontay Wilder is taking it. It's going to be an entertaining year for the heavyweight division. Entertaining 2, 3, 4 years maybe, because they're both superstars in the making. You know, one in the UK, one in the United States. I mean, it's an interesting year for boxing. I'm glad to be a part of it. It's a sport that I love, and you know, I've grown to admire over the years. And I'm just glad that it's booming. You know, it's going big, and you know, on Fox and Showtime and pay-per-view, everything's coming along well. You know, people tune in, BBC on FS1, and it's going to be a great year for boxing.
Now let's talk about you. You obviously just had your comeback match on FS1 early December of last year. Your thoughts on coming back, boxing? Everybody's saying that you're rumored to fight Keith Thurman up next. Also, there's a 147 World Series of Boxing tournament, a welterweight one. They just announced it that they were creating one. So your thoughts, maybe you might want to throw your name into that. Obviously, it's done well for the cruiserweight division and the other divisions that it's been on. So just you, what's up with you? What do you want?
You know what? First of all, you know, when it comes to that, I have to speak with my advisor, Guadalupe Valencia. You know, and Al Heyman. This is my first time hearing anything of it, but I'm going after the belts. You know, that's what I'm going after, and WBC and WBA belts are something that I want to have around my belt. I mean, around my waist. You know, and so for that reason, that's the reason why I'm interested in the fight against Keith Thurman. But we'll find out soon enough. I know that the people are very excited about the fight because, you know, the rumors on social media, all the talks going around say that the people want to see this fight, and if they do, let's give it to them. I'm hoping to be back in March or April, and he is as well. He's looking forward to coming just around that time of the year. So if I mean, that just makes sense. You know, the fight with him and I make a lot of sense.
2017 just ended. Obviously, we're a week into 2018. If I could ask you, what was, according to Jessie Vargas, your fight of 2017? What was the best fight that you think boxing saw and boxing fans saw that year in 2017?
A lot of great ones. There's a lot of great ones. I definitely have to say Vargas versus Berchett. That was a fantastic fight and brawl. And second, I would have to say Anthony Joshua against Klitschko. That was a fantastic fight, you know, from beginning to end. You know, you have ups and downs on both ends. And I really enjoyed that fight. I'd have to say that one there would have to be at the top list. And also Rumbisai against Chocolatito, the first fight.
The first one in Madison Square Garden? Yeah.
Oh, man, that was... The guys just couldn't miss each other, man. It was tough. It was tough to see, but, you know, they gave action.
Who was Jessie Vargas' fighter of 2017? A lot of people say Lomachenko. Some people say Rumbisai because he knocked out and knocked off the
I didn't think he beat Chocolatito the first fight.
Okay.
The first fight, I think Chocolatito won. I was there commentating, and I saw Chocolatito win. I mean, he just threw more punches. He landed more punches. He connected. And the only reason he was beating was for the headbutts. I'm not saying it because he's my friend, because as a commentator, I have to put on my commentating hat and just speak the facts. So for that reason, I'll just, you know,
disqualify
that name.
But then they got Crawford as well. So who is Jessie Vargas?
Yeah. You know what? Crawford is a good name out there to be recognized as one of the great standing out fighters that came out 2017.
He unified the division and also beat an Olympian.
Wilder. Who?
Crawford. He beat an Olympian with Diaz, and then he also unified the division against Ndongo.
There you go. Mikey Garcia is another good one. And I'm going to go back to that one. I was Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua. You just have a lot of names, man. It's just up to the fans for them to pick. You know, Lomachenko. The fans got to pick. I wasn't very busy 2017. You know, I only fought once. But, you know, 2018 is going to be a different year for me. It's going to be busy, action-packed, and in the biggest fights of the year.
All right, let the fans know where they can follow you, get to know more about you, and obviously you're now on the PBC side, so you actually get more opportunity to fight the bigger names at 147 than you did a couple years back.
There you go, you said it first. Well, look me up, man. Social media, everybody knows where to find me. You know, my name is Jessie Vargas, so type in Jessie Vargas.
That's IE, right?
You'll find me. IE, that's right, y'all. So thank you.
Oh, no, thank you. And I want to ask you one more question. You kind of alluded to it earlier when we were talking about Mikey Garcia versus Lomachenko. You obviously have top rank experience. You know the situation there and everything. We know that the Miguel Cotto versus Mayweather fight didn't happen up until Cotto left. We know that it was difficult to make the Mayweather-Pacquiao fight. Do you really think that there's maybe something there in Top Rank that they just like to keep in-house fights and they try to avoid other promotions? Because we've never seen you fight anybody else other than a Top Rank fighter when you went into 147. You fought Timothy Bradley, you fought Manny Pacquiao.
At that time there were several fighters within the stable, so I guess you would have to ask Bob and Todd that, you know. You know, yeah, that's a better question for them.
All right. Well, thank you for your time, Jessie. Have a good one.
Hey, fight fans, it's Michelle Joy Phelps, and if you haven't already subscribed to my YouTube channel, make sure you go ahead and do so by clicking right here.